Hi, my name's Edwena Dixon, and today we're going to be talking all about managing your money and managing your cash flow. Over the last 10 years as a mortgage broker here in Australia, I have seen hundreds of people's finances. I've seen how they manage their money. As people go on the journey towards home ownership, I've been able to get insider knowledge on what works, what doesn't work as you're going on that journey. And being able to prioritize how you spend your money is a big key to being able to reach your financial goals. So for me, learning how to manage my own finances actually started 8 years ago when I had a 3-foot fish tank that actually leaked. It broke, it went and leaked all over the apartment. And that meant that in the end, I actually had to pay the landlord in the apartment below to be able to replace all of their carpet. Now that cost me over $6,000 at the time, and I didn't have the money at the time. I actually ended up having to go and ask family for money because I had just started my business at that point, and no bank was going to lend me money as somebody that had just opened up a business. To put it into comparison, this year I actually purchased a very large 5-bedroom home, and that's been the progression. That is the progression that anybody can go on with an understanding of your wants versus your needs and the ability to be able to maximize your cash flow so that you actually make it work for you. So the journey from having to borrow $6,000 from family all the way through to buying my own home has actually been a journey. It really is a journey that everybody does go on. So after having to borrow money from family to be able to pay that landlord to replace all of the carpet in that apartment below, which I'm pretty sure he never actually did, I did make a big decision, and I made the decision that I would never be in that situation again. And over that time, I then spent the next 6 months focusing on paying off that debt. And I did. I was able to pay off that debt. And a year after that, I had finally worked out a really great system that worked for me to be able to budget my money because it fluctuated quite a lot. And I discovered that the best way was actually every single time I was paid, I would take 5% and I would put that into savings or investments so that it never happened again. There would always be some liquid funds there in case I needed it for one of these unexpected emergencies. 4 years after that fish tank fiasco, I was able to actually then purchase a car in cash. I paid $30,000 in cash for a car, which I never would have dreamed of being able to pay cash for a car if I hadn't been through that situation earlier with the fish tank. I hadn't been able to then start to develop a budget that really worked. And this is where it comes into understanding what your needs and your wants are and having a budget that helps you to move forward with your finances. Because if you can change those habits, you can really change the world that you live in. So I started with saving 5%, and it's not a massive amount of money. You're probably thinking, well, hold on, it's going to take me ages. But it's also part of the habit. Actually automating that payment meant that the money disappeared. It meant that I never saw it, and it meant that it was actually just invested. I learnt to deal with having slightly less money, and it's something that all of us can do. If you don't see it, you probably won't even notice that it's gone. It's why superannuation works so well, because we never see it. We get a statement every 6 months or every year, but you don't see it in your pay slip. You don't see it when you get paid your salary and it appears in your bank account. It's already been removed. And this is the exact same thing. If the government thinks it's such a great idea to be able to invest that money into superannuation, then, and to be able to invest that into the stock market and to be able to remove it from your pay before it goes to you, then why shouldn't you use that same strategy? Remove it out of your bank account as soon as you get paid that money so that you don't end up spending it. So knowing what the differences between needs and wants is really important. And I think the best way to actually help you understand is to use a few examples. So if we look at buying a brand new Tesla, this would be a want. It's not necessarily a need, it's a want. It'd be nice to have it. Paying your electricity bill. That is a need. You must pay that unless you don't want electricity in your apartment or in your home. Your Netflix subscription. Now this is a big want, and it's a big one that a lot of people fall into the trap of because a lot of money is spent on subscriptions all the time. And if you're not using subscriptions, you're better off just deleting them. If you decide you want it back, the odds are there'll be a better promotion on the pricing when you go back to them. What about when you're out with friends and maybe that 6th Prosecco, that's probably a want, and you're probably starting to tip over the budget that you'd allocated yourself while going out with friends. So maybe hold off on that one too. But you get the idea. Actually just understanding the difference between a need and a want will help you to be able to take control of your budget and for your finances. Because at the end of the day, if you can change your habits and the way you interact with money and finance, then you can change your world. And it really does have that bigger impact. See you in the next video.